Okay, morning, folks. Welcome to the briefing on Friday, the 11th of June. Always impresses me the number of people who are watching the briefing. 28 people on what looks like a pretty grotty morning. So I would imagine a number of those are at work or at home, thinking whether it's going to be any good to come up flying or what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Well, very odd situation on the weather chart. This is the midday chart, very, very unsettled across the continent. And we've had these fronts out to the west of us for probably 3 or 4 days, lurking out to the west, and they're slowly coming through. And you can see that this is the ridge of high pressure that hopefully we're expecting for tomorrow. These fronts are very weak features. There's no actual rain on these over us anyway, so some further north. There's a little bit of drizzle out there at the moment, but I think that's just because there's quite thick cloud. What we're going to get is, I think clearance between these two frontal systems. So TAFs are suggesting, and this looks very, very similar to yesterday, sometime between sort of 7 and 4, 248 knots. Well, I think it's about the same yesterday. There's 9,000 meters viz, drizzle, overcast at 300 feet, which is probably what it was a little bit earlier, and becoming between 7 and 10k viz, no significant weather, scattered at 2,000 feet, but 30% prob this morning, between sort of 10 and 11, broken at 1,400 feet. It's essentially saying it's a slow clearance, and it will get better as the day goes on, a little bit like yesterday. But when we're looking at the frontal system, what we're seeing is later in the day, in the evening tonight, it deteriorating again. Winds, as I say, on the ground, they're suggesting 240 degrees. Flying heights, 250, 20. South of us, 260, 15. So it's breezy enough. My gut feeling is when we get going, we will probably be on 2-3 again. Sat pick, again, it could be a rerun of yesterday. Lots of cloud in the southeast. You can start to see breaks out to the west, and I think that'll slowly get here, and things will begin to improve when the temperature goes up a little bit and starts to dry things out. Temperature wise, they're talking about 22, 23 today around us. Well, it's on the car thermometer this morning, it was 17 degrees. So it's only a 5-degree temperature increase during the day. Not a fantastic amount, but once that goes up a few degrees, things will dry out a little bit and it will feel quite warm and pleasant. And I think we're not going to see cloud bases going up a fantastic amount because the dew points are already fairly high. They're sort of 14s and 15s, and they'll stay there for most of the day, really. Just playing about with the soundings, I had a quick look. Always do that regardless of what the forecast is. And this looks slightly more promising than yesterday for the afternoon. Suggesting cloud base about 2,800 feet above sea level, and the chance of some soaring. So that's, fingers crossed, the gap between the two fronts. The actual Lark Hill sounding doesn't really show much at all. It just shows that it's quite sort of moist in this area here, and this is probably partly to do with just the thick low cloud holding the moisture. I think Top Meteo's probably got it right today, and this is their prediction. Then moving it forward a couple of hours, slowly beginning to clear up. This is 11 o'clock, and we're starting to see the cloud going up and turning into sort of more broken, lower level cloud. And then cumulus by 12, 1 o'clock. So the gap between the cloud going to the east of us, and we're going to have cumulus for a few hours, bit broken. I think upper cloud as well. And then you can see the progress of this is the second front across here, coming down over us late afternoon, evening time. So yeah, I think there's a reasonable weather window, slightly better than yesterday, more chance of some soaring. Not a great cross-country day, but we'll certainly get some flying out of it. Thermal heights. Let's go from 1 o'clock. They're talking about 3,000 feet above sea level around here. And I think that's probably as good as it's going to get. 2.5, 2.8 above here, I think, if I'm really optimistic looking at the predicted data. For a few hours, it's going to be quite nice, but not over a great area. So you might even be able to squeeze in 100 out to the west and north for a little bit. And then we start to see the progress of the next front coming down and killing it all for the evening, probably bringing in low cloud again. So we're going okay, Dave, folks. I think we'll get a chance of flying and some local soaring or short cross country, fingers crossed. The predicted distance that Top Meteo are suggesting was actually out to the east again. They seem to be doing this on a number of occasions, suggesting we go east as the best area, probably because that's just where the best heating is going to be. But it's no reason why it shouldn't be okay west of Lasham for a bit. Moving that forward tomorrow hasn't really changed very much. Still got this high pressure building. It is looking like it's going to be blue. All the predicted descents are saying blue. I'm looking at the air mass and thinking, well, I would have thought we're going to get some cumulus. Blue with odd patches of cumulus is my best guess, but should be with the heating, 1,400 meters over quite a large area here. So hopefully a good day, and I'm sure it will be fairly busy. Right, airspace wise, locally, not really a lot. Bit of an odd picture over Salisbury Plain. The danger area has been sort of temporarily reduced for some reason, but the hours of reduction in operation, it's only reduced by sort of 20,000 feet down to 30,000 feet instead of 50,000 feet, which is bizarre. Why they've notamed that, but their hours of operation are different to the drone operation out of Keevil, and I think one hand is not talking to the other with this operation. Not really relevant to us today. I don't think anybody will be heading out that way. And the other one is parachute jumping at Little Risington between sort of 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Bit odd because normally they notam this cone, and what they've done here is just notamed a normal parachute drop zone, which is a bit unusual. Right, and apart from that, you can see there's nothing else really going on in our part of the world. The only other thing is down in Cornwall, it's a complete no-go for any form of aviation, as you would imagine with the G7 summit. Right, operationally, as I say, we're probably going to be on 2-3, and when it looks like we're going to get flying, we'll get the stuff out and set up. There is a jet movement. I wrote it down here. Yeah, departure. The latest flight plan says 11 o'clock, 737 going out. So fingers crossed that'll go, and then we'll be able to start up. Okay, folks, so either hopefully see you out there, or I'm sure see people on the grid tomorrow.